E used to come by his work for my homeboy Turtle, Kenny Wayne Johnston. He corrected me, you know what I mean? Based on, because what I thought cripping was, it was supposed to be, he stopped me and said, no, it's not that.
Yeah.
I actually saw somebody, and it was a woman, you know, with some dudes, and she the only one had the thing on, the red bandana. And I grabbed it off of her.
What's up, world? It's your boy Big Court on the Holdin Court Podcast, broadcasting live from where? Producer Ken?
Man, Hollywood, California.
Hollywood, California. That's some new shit we just started, huh?
That's some new shit you just started.
I don't know why I just started just dropping the location like that, bro. But listen, man, we are trying something different today, man. You know, I don't give the viewers a good, you know, I keep my personal life, you know, out the limelight or whatever. But I want to share something special, one of my biggest accomplishments in life. You know what I mean? We're going to have fun, try something different. I have my oldest daughter co-hosting with me, guest hosting today. My daughter, Rachel Renee.
Hey, world.
It's her first episode.
Niecy
you know
in the house.
You know what I'm saying?
Excited to be here.
Yeah, this my oldest child, so she gonna, you know, join us and we gonna see how this thing go.
Well, hold on though. I think you have to get it the proper introduction, because I noticed as a kid, this is a gangster ass podcast.
It is.
You was a gangster ass teenager.
I was,
and you raised your daughter on some gangster shit.
I did raise her on some gangster.
So there's context to it.
Yeah,
it's not just, you know, it's my daughter here. There's a reason.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm a segue into that context.
All right.
But let me get to my other special guests. We also have my partner. I consider a friend. I consider my OG as well. Professor Melly Mel, the hood postman, content creator, influencer, and also just an overall good guy, stand-up dude, intellectual. What's up with you, OG?
Man, what's good? Man, it is a great thing to be here at the Holdin Court, man. First, let me say this, man. The streets ain't made for everybody. That's why they create the sidewalk. Holdin Court, hood postman, you know the vibe. And I'm sitting here with Rachel, Big Court, and my guy Ken.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. We in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Let's do this Hollywood thing.
Hey, that's what we doing. So going back to what producer Ken was saying, bro, you know, you being a elder statesman, OG, Compton OG, and we'll get into your story. You know, I thought it was important for me to bring my child on because, again, I had Rachel at 16, you know what I'm saying? And I was a young father still. Matter of fact, when I found out that her mother was pregnant with her, I believe I was in jail. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I believe I was in jail. So, you know, I raised her on, you know, gangster rap, SIBO, Brother Lynch Hung, X-Rated, DJ Quick, MCA, you name it, right? And I myself was a gangster rapper. So she grew up in the studio with me.
Wow.
You know, so she grew up around the guns, you know what I'm saying? All of that shit, right? Wow. But so I thought it was important, you know, because you telling your story and the whole evolution, and we gonna touch on the generational shit and all of that. So, and you know, if she do good today, we might see more of it.
I think she's gonna do well.
Yeah, for sure.
She already had the right, just the whole body language.
She got the great genetics
and her energy.
Yeah,
her energy is right. You know what I mean? When she walked in the room, she smiled and greeted me. You know what I mean? Like a young lady should. You know, she was, you know, definitely in a young lady's place.
Yeah, for sure. She got the good genetics. You're welcome. You're welcome.
He said that like 3 times.
Yeah,
you heard him, Melly?
I want to make sure we get the credit.
He got on that.
Hey,
he said it several times.
Zeroed in on that.
This came out of me. You know what I mean?
Man,
So,
got it.
So what you want to say, Rachel Renee?
Well, I'm happy to be here, and thank y'all for the vote of confidence, and I'm excited.
Good.
I'm excited
awesome.
to touch on this and illuminate a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's start with yourself, OG, man. You born and raised in Compton, California, the epicenter for so much culture, especially in the hip hop community. Man, what was life like in Compton for you?
Well, first we got to go all the way back to the 60s because I was born in 1959.
Okay.
And I was born in Compton, born and raised in Compton. Actually, I live right next door. My first house that I got the earliest memory is right next to Enterprise, in the backside of Enterprise on Aprillo. And from there, we moved to 135th and Avalon. Now, that's when things changed because I started seeing things that a child necessarily wasn't ready for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the riot, the Watch riot. The Watch riot, we had Montague saying, burn, baby, burn. And now you seeing some things happening that you only saw on a black and white television screen at the time. You know, war is what I'm saying. And we saw the military moving past and people throwing Molotov cocktails and people raiding. There was a White Front store was on fire, the Fantastic store. So the whole city was on fire. And I'm thinking I was about, maybe if this happened at 65, I could have been 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what kind of effect did that have on you as a youngster? See, did you understand what that was all about?
I didn't understand it. It wouldn't be years later that I began to understand it, because what happened is now, after that settled and after everything was died down and we kind of went back to what we felt like was a normal life, was the emergence of the Black Panther Party, the US organization, the Sons of Watts, the Watts Festival. So now you get to go hear all these individuals that was involved in these circumstances. Now you hearing them speak and talk and tell you about this stuff, because down on I think it was in Western Vernon, there was a Black Panther Party headquarters where they served the free lunch program, and also they did the 10 points and all the free lunch, just everything, you know. So you got to learn what that really was. So that was really inspiring to see those guys wearing them black vests with the beret and the long guns. They riding on the side of Packers like you know, like in broad daylight with these long guns, and you looking at this, you're like, man, what? You know, you ain't. I've never seen. I didn't know where this came from. I didn't fully understand. You know, but I knew that something needed to change.
Yeah. So I mean, you being in this at that time, I know Compton was predominantly black, but there was a Jewish community at what point?
A big Jewish community
in Compton as well.
So on the east side was the Jewish community. So at a certain time, black people wasn't going across Alameda, because if you went across Alameda, that was the east side of Compton, and then you ran into Linwood, Southgate, Downey, so on and so forth. So the first house that we bought, my father and mother purchased. My father was a career military man, spent countless of years in the military. His whole mindset was military. Everything was about the military. So when they allowed the black soldiers to first initiate this GI Bill, right? I think
that's so they could get property, get houses,
yes,
right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So my father purchased a house, 1968, on a street called Spring. We were the second black family on that street.
Oh, wow. So was it
so there was the Weinbergers.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
There was the Silversteins.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
There was the Cohens. You know what I mean? All these different families, you know what I mean? We moved right next door to them.
So let me ask you. So this was the 60s, right?
Yes.
Were they, I'm assuming it was still the thing of redlining, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
we was fresh out of that.
Oh, okay. But because of the GI, how were y'all able to squeeze in?
Well, I think it was the 1965 Bill of Rights that changed everything.
But that don't mean motherfuckers was.
Yeah, no, they still was playing.
Adhering to the.
But what was happening, these families, a lot of these families had beginning to start move.
Oh, white flight.
Yeah, they was, starting to move out. And we started to move in, you know.
Yeah. So with this sense of community and unity and this Black Power movement, right? Where do you think it started going wrong? You know, where because I know with the gang element, because I know the Us Boys was probably kind of one of the first.
Ron Karenga, Malalana Karenga at the time. And that's probably one of the strangest things. So let me put it like this. You had Chairman Fred down in Chicago, right? Who was running that faction of the Black Panther. Then you had Bunchy Carter here in LA. You had Geronimo Pratt and so many other guys. And then you had all the other guys that was in Oakland.
Huey P. Newton,
and was it Bobby Steele?
Bobby Steele,
So, and then you had the Angela Davis and the Elvis Cleaver,
right?
So when these guys start coming together, what they had was really great. But what they didn't understand, that these people was really hung on what they were doing and didn't really like what they were doing, because it was creating a group of people that could stand on their own, support themselves, and be accountable to their own community and police their own community. We didn't need the police back.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm seeing these guys riding around and, they correcting people.
Got you. Right.
They ain't just letting stuff happen. They
got you.
getting out their car.
I got you.
If the police stop you, they stop too.
Yeah,
Get out
to make sure everything was good.
And observe
Yeah.
what was going on.
Right.
I saw this. So in 1968, when I first heard James Brown say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
Right.
Do you know what that did for us?
Mm-hmm.
That was profound.
Mm-hmm.
We had never heard nothing. So what James Brown did in one song was probably bigger than the whole civil rights movement altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was vocal. This was like words are powerful, manifesting this reality.
Right.
Because now you got all this fist pumping.
Yeah.
You got the brand.
So I guess in essence, what you're kind of saying is, with the fall of the gangster of the Black Panthers, I guess the neighborhood, quote unquote, gangs start trying to step in to fill in that
So
protection.
Let me give you my perspective, my opinion, right?
Right.
You had Larry Hoover,
Yeah.
Chicago, right?
Right.
You had J. Edgar Hoover in FBI. Right?
Yeah.
But people don't know you had Clarence Hoover in L.A.,
Mhm.
part of the first Crips.
So this is
that-
before.
is that
This is no. So what's his face?
No.
So
they
you
was
know what
all
I'm talking
there.
about. Yeah.
Raymond Willie
Raymond
Washington.
Yeah.
They were all there, but Clarence Hoover was there too. So
Okay.
what was his influence? Because Clarence Hoover would be about 71, 72 now.
Okay, and he was kin to who? What was his significance?
From what I get from him, he's
Uh-huh.
kin to Larry Hoover.
Ah.
So, but are they both kin to J. Edgar Hoover?
Oh,
You see where I'm going with
Okay,
this?
okay.
Because if they got COINTELPRO,
Right.
who's
Right.
leading that?
Yeah.
Who are these agents? Who are these other people that's
Yeah.
helping make this
Mhm.
happen?
Okay.
Who's causing the divide between the US organization
Yeah.
and the Black Panthers?
Right. So
They're not just people that's invisible.
So the Us Boys, which they were called the Us Boys, correct?
Us organization,
Yeah.
Us Boys.
So they weren't.
Well, no, they weren't called the Us Boys, the Us organization, United Slaves.
Okay. All
So
right.
the Us Boys was a gang,
Right.
original gang from Compton.
Right.
Was
Right.
the Us Boys, and I think
Okay.
they kind of took that away from the
Got
United Slaves.
Got you.
That's
Okay.
what Us stands for with Maulana Karenga, United Slaves.
Okay. So when did you start seeing the environment change in terms of the emergence of gangs? Because I know it wasn't Crips, you in Compton. Crips is a LA thing.
Mhm.
When did you start seeing gangs? Or I would say not just gangs, but the emergence of Crips and Pyrus.
Well, I use this word to describe it. It's like a double entendre, like the rappers use entendres, right? It has two different meanings. It's
Right.
called mercurial. Mercurial is something that's sudden, unpredictable, mind, mood, swing, and temperament.
Mm-hmm.
The temperament of the Crips and Bloods is emotions. And this society account on you being emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're emotional, you're reactionary. When
Right.
something becomes reactionary,
Right.
it's not good for
Exactly.
us. It's not well
Exactly.
thought out.
Absolutely.
Has no reason to it,
Mhm.
no logic.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at that and you understand that these people that was moving on the Damu, and I'm gonna get back to your question, it was happening by about 70 or 71, Herald Examiner puts out this article, Public Enemy #1, Raymond Lee Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been 72, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna differ too much on the
And
date.
real quick, just for the listeners, for the people who don't know, Raymond Washington is the originator of the Crips.
Is the original,
Yeah.
along with Mad Dog and some others.
And Baba Louie, because you put Baba Louie.
Baba
in there?
Louie was around, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he was in the formulation of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Okay.
But there was other people, Dead-Eye Clan, Craddock, and,
Mhm.
and other
Yeah.
people that was number
Okay.
one and all these different.
Right.
So it wasn't just Raymond per se.
Right.
Now, whatever happened between him and Craig Monson,
Exactly. Yeah, I know
That
that was
was-
kind of
yeah.
the precipice for it. Yeah.
right. So when you look at that and you understand how all this comes in, again, something sudden, unpredictable,
Mm-hmm.
mind moves. So think about the average gang member
Mm-hmm.
with their minds. They're very
Mhm.
just aggressive and
Yeah.
unpredictable. You don't
Right.
know what they're gonna do.
Right.
But yet they also telegraph.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're in somewhere and we see one walk in, we automatically like, man,
Mhm.
he got that aggressive look.
Yeah.
I'm already prepared. I know I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to do something
Right.
that he ain't ready for. I'm gonna introduce him to a whole lot of BS.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, hey brother, how you doing?
Yeah.
you know. I'm
Let
gonna
me ask you, OG, real
Yeah,
quick.
go
'cause
ahead,
we've
go
been
ahead.
touching on this all week,
Okay.
and I'm sorry, I don't mean to divert
No,
your
go ahead.
response,
By all
but
means.
That what you just said, right?
Uh-uh.
When we walk in and we see each other,
Mhm.
do you think that's reminiscent of the Willie Lynch thing, the self-hate?
Willie Lynch.
We deal with each other
We
so
could go.
heavy-handedly.
I want to touch on that. You just brought up something. Because I want to get it right. Give me a minute here.
Uh-huh.
The Willie Lynch thing, right? There's something called meritorious maledictions. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Uh-huh. It sounds Latin.
It's the Act of 1710.
Uh-huh.
And it reads, meritorious maledictions was a legal act freeing a slave for good deeds. Now, it was defined by the national public meritorious maledictions could be granted to a slave who distinguished himself by saying he'll save a white life, white property, invent something for them to make money off of, and can make a profit, and snitch and manufacture anything they see in regards to a rebellion. And that's what we see. And I wanted to speak on it because when you see the Kyrie, Irving, and the Kanye West, what are the big guys over there in the sports world and all these other black athletes? What they all, you know?
Yeah.
We ain't got to call them out.
Right.
But I made that correlation. I say
deep.
the Act of 1710 because Jesus saying this was happened to. If you look at what happened in Nat Turner, Jaja Dessalines, Overton Tarrant, Gabriel Processor, Harriet Tubman. It's nothing new under the sun, brother.
No, that's real.
Still here.
Yeah.
We still going through the Act of 17. It was a law. And you don't take my word for it. Go look it up.
So that's on the books, right?
That's on the
That's on the books. But I'm saying in terms of us, the way that we process and make decisions and act toward each other. You know what I mean? So with you saying that, you know, we do you think that's
it's in our DNA, man.
Well,
we got trauma.
That's kind of what we've been talking about all week with the systemic problem because it starts
we have
there.
trauma, man. So I reassigned my DNA and I freed myself from ancestral trauma. Now I'm mastering soul lessons the way I can cultivate space for the abundant to flow. I'm the abundant. I don't see because the only limitations anyone ever have or anyone in this room is the ones you place on yourself or you allow others to place on you.
Right.
And we get caught up in that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Rachel Renee? Because I know you know
I'm
you're
waiting
into
to hear what Rachel got to say.
she can expand on that type of thing more than I could.
Let's go, Rachel.
You speaking my language. No, I love this. I'm enjoying this. No, I agree. Just being able to observe it and, you know, even going back to my childhood with my dad, like it was very different. You know, in Kansas City, we didn't have, you know, the Black Panther Party or any type of, I would say, duality as far as like representation. So it was, especially where we lived on the east side, it was just all hood. So, you know, it goes back to what you just said, like this is so ingrained in us. And, you know, as a child, you don't really understand the gravity of it until you get older. And then you realize like, wow, this is why we are still in the state that we're in. And, you know, just referencing, like you said, going back to the Kyrie Irving and Kanye West situation, like we don't get on code the same way, you know,
No, we don't.
We don't because we've been penalized. We've been, you know, so stricken with fear and, you know, it shows up today because it is a generational trauma. It is ingrained in our DNA. You know, you from your father, you learn your lessons from your father. You got your DNA from your mother. You know, your mother is witnessing this. You know, she feels disempowered. The Black man feels disempowered. And this now becomes a culture. And this is why we say crabs in a barrel, you know? So, no, I agree with everything you said. And I feel like now with social media and you know, the old heads, the OGs, you know, now coming back around and saying, hey, like you said, like there's no, you know, a guy once told me, another old head said, don't ever let anybody put any limitation on your demonstration because you are your own worst enemy, you know, and I feel like we just as a people have to get out of our own way and use media now to empower one another and educate one another. Like I didn't know about that 1710 Act, but you see it. It's very
go look
much,
it up.
yeah.
Yeah. So the culture conditioning that we've been subjected to has three ends: underestimate, undervalue,
Mhm.
and undermine. Marginalize. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
marginalize. So it's up to us, OGs, and also your generation, to take up the fight,
Yes.
the responsibility of teaching cultural responsibility and
Mhm.
cultural competence. See, because when you implement that, you're educating the people, because our people suffer from information malnutrition. They're
Yes.
information poor. That's the problem.
Mhm.
Because if you look at the music that we listen to, the
Mhm.
drill music,
Mhm.
it's nihilistic. It has a nihilistic, it's uncertain, it's dark, it's death.
Mhm.
So how do we overrule that? How do we get past that? We can't keep allowing this to be the driving force.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna come back to Court when he talked about how the hip hop. I think that the gang culture, gangster rap. Because think about why Langston Hughes and James Baldwin and Zora Hurston and countless of others, Dewberry and Walcott and all these individuals that was part of this Renaissance, right?
Mhm.
Why aren't they the heroes? Why are we worshiping? We take dummies and make them superstars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why we do that when we already have the superstars?
Yeah.
Because the writings are there, their literature is there, their books are there. The Octavia Butlers, the Nikki Giovanni's.
Yeah.
See, the literature is there, and people get like tripping up when I get to speaking, like, because they know where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm from, but they don't like when I start speaking like in the terms of this, trying to understand this thing
Right.
we're in.
Right.
It gets different.
So
Go ahead.
so with you saying that though, Melly, being that where you're from, Compton, California, is the epicenter of gangster rap. You know what I mean? It's the epicenter of it, right? So when you talk about the Eazy-E's, the Dr. Dre's, the Suge Knights, the CMWs, MC8s, the Tidy T's, the King T's, and the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think they went that route? Why do you think that Eazy was smart enough, or had the foresight to say, you know what, there's a market for this. People want to hear this shit.
I don't think people, and I'm gonna start at Suge for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
People don't give Suge his really how smart it was for him to put those individuals together the way he did.
For sure.
Now he wrecked it himself.
Yeah.
But for him to come because anybody can put up money.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, go ahead and take care of the business.
Right.
But how does it get done?
Exactly. The execution.
Yeah, the execution.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about the Eazy-E's and the Dr. Dre's, so here's what they did. Gangster rap, right?
Yeah.
Now you got this culture of gangs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We looking at them, seeing everything they do. Hey, let's put this in our rhymes and let's, we studio. We ain't really about that.
Now, let me ask you now. Let me push back a little bit.
Okay, push back.
E was from Kelly Park.
He was from where it's from. Used to come by his work from my homeboy Turtle, Kenny Wayne Johnston.
Oh, we gonna get to Turtle. You know I'm gonna talk about Turtle now. You know what I'm saying? But E from neighborhood. It was neighborhood back then.
Yes.
But Kelly Park.
No, Kelly Park, neighborhood, Compton End Hood, Atlantic Drive.
Okay.
All share one neighborhood.
Even in his day.
Yes.
Okay.
You had the Atlantic Drives, the Kelly Parks, and neighborhoods.
Okay.
And then across from there was the South Side.
Right. Did you know E?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was there when he came there. Because if you go back and look at the movie, a lot of people don't pay. Go back and look at the movie. You're going to see on the wall SBC. Inside
Santana.
that scene.
Santana Blocc.
Yeah. So what they were alluding to is that he was in a Santana Blocc drug house behind drugs.
Ah, okay.
You just go look at the scene, you'll see it.
So what was E like? Did you have a personal
relationship? I didn't really have
a
personal relationship.
Okay.
I just saw him. He was just, at that time, just an individual coming and put his money in, get his work, and go do his
I'm curious.
business.
What was E buying back then? 4.5? What? 9? Like,
you know what? He was like most everybody else, man. If you had just a little bit of intellect, you can just
stretch some little shit.
Just come up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You knew to turn 4, the 8 or 9, and then half to a whole, you know.
Yeah.
It was pretty simple because the clientele was there, because remember, that's part of my, Professor Melly Mel.
Hell yeah. We gonna get to that.
Every time the first and the 15 hit, it feel like dope.
We gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
Okay.
So when you start seeing, excuse me, had your street career started at the time that NWA merges with their music? Were you already off the porch with Santana, Blocc?
Oh yeah, I was off the porch in '72.
Okay.
Stanley Tookie Williams, I was right there with him.
Right.
My first discipline, or how would we say, Holdin Court.
Yeah.
Was through Stanley Tookie Williams. He corrected me on the situation.
I forgot you ran with Tookie.
Yeah, he corrected me. You know what I mean? Based on, because what I thought cripping was, or what it's supposed to be, he stopped me and said, "No, it's not that."
Yeah.
I actually saw somebody, and it was a woman, with some dudes, and she the only one had the thing on, the red bandana. And I grabbed it off of her, threw it on the ground, and he made me pick it up. And this had to be around 74, 75 when that first started happening.
Yeah.
But So in 72, they got kicked out of Factor Brookins, which was out there in Banning, California. So my OG, which is Donald Duck Norwood, Chester Norwood, they were in the boys' home.
The Red House.
No, before the Red House.
Okay.
Out in Factor Brookins, Banning, California, with Bob Simmons, Coachy, or whatever his name was, and Baby Boy. They were out there running it.
Yeah.
And didn't mean to mess your name up, OG. But so they got kicked out of Banning, and they moved them on Pine in Santa Fe, which made it perfect because Donald Duck Norwood and Chester Norwood, who was Hercules, they lived on Willow, which is around the corner. So you had the Red House, Oaks Park, and then from behind there, you have Santa Fe, Willow, McDavid, Spring, Peck, and so on and so forth. So those all the blocks that surrounded all that. So you got Stanley Tookie Williams, you got
But Tookie's from LA though, right?
Tookie's from LA.
Okay.
But he loved him some Compton. He loved how that.
What was Tookie really like? I mean, you hear all the stories. Even Ice-T got on and told a story about Tookie.
Tookie was like real passionate about what the Crips were and what they weren't. He was like, if you was a buster, you couldn't be around. If you didn't go through the test or being part of that, whatever that system was, you know what I mean? You got to, show them hands or run down the line, or if you ain't done none of that, you had no business being around.
Right.
You wasn't there.
So with his situation, right? I mean, it's well documented. He was convicted of allegedly robbing the hotel and killing, was it 3 or 4 people or whatever with the shotgun. From what you know, I mean, we know he's executed now. Rest in peace to Tookie Williams. Do you think he was really guilty of that? Because you hear different things.
It's hard to say because I wasn't there, don't really know, you know what I mean? But I know the individuals that was there with him, they were so quick to point fingers at him. So if you got the name and you the most likely of who they're going to focus on,
right?
Wouldn't it be easy for us to just pour on you?
Yeah.
If we scared and nervous, don't know what to do, never been under this situation,
right?
Let's put it on Tookie.
Did he had co-defendants in that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they all rest in peace now.
Oh, okay. Did they go to jail too, or just him?
I don't know if they went to jail or not.
Damn.
I don't. If they did, they didn't get nowhere near what he got.
The
punishment he got.
Sure didn't. Nah.
So if you is co-defendant, now, say for instance, you and I, Ken, and Rachel, we all on a mission. Rachel, the driver, me, you, and Ken initiate. Just because she the driver, she don't get less time.
Oh, that's real. That ain't how
she
the
get
law
the
work.
same thing.
We
all in this together.
Yeah.
So how did those other guys get less?
Yeah, shit.
You understand?
Yeah, they told it. But then I know it was rumored that Tookie had he used to hit that angel dust. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But because he thought in his mind, he thought it made him stronger, made him.
Yeah, because they said he used to do that shit before he worked out. He would hit the dust and be on
that
one.
man had so many weights. I've never seen so many weights. That was part of his.
Yeah.
Whether it was Tiny Man, let's see, Shotgun, Weasel, Little Cross, Pretty Crip, which was Guy Walker. Killer Carl. Those are some of the individuals that lived in
You
the
think
Red House.
who was bigger? Was it Tookie or Craig Munson?
Now,
I think Craig was bigger than Tookie, huh?
I think maybe more defined.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tookie was a huge dude.
Yeah.
Man.
Who you think had better hands, Craig or Tookie?
Craig, I don't know about Craig because I've been in the spot with Craig.
Yeah.
And I seen Craig, but Craig was kind of soft.
Really?
I mean, I'm
Soft,
talking about.
you mean body wise or just in his
No,
in
this
just how he was.
If you listening talk, you be like, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like, what's going on with him?
Yeah,
You know
really.
what I mean?
I heard Craig was a savage though
he
back in the street.
but he had a soft tone to him. It's like
Yeah.
something going on in there.
I already know. Come on, Melly.
I mean, yeah, man. It ain't all.
Craig's still alive though, right?
He's still alive, but it
Yeah,
ain't
man,
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the same shit, but we gonna move on.
Yeah.
Hey,
Come on,
that's
Craig.
A nice way of you see, OG being politically correct. You know, it's a little softness there.
Yeah.
Just
Little something there, man. Some extra stuff.
maybe you saying there's a little sugar, a little estrogen, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Hey, so
But shout out to Craig.
yeah, shout out to the OG. So that's funny. So you being from Santana Block, Santana Block Crip, right? Home to the notorious Turtle, right?
Yes.
Turtle was a very charismatic dude. First time I seen him was on the BBC thing. So how did it feel? Well, tell the story because you're from Santana Block Crip. The BBC and a production company from the BBC came over to do a documentary on gangs.
The black gangs divide into two warring clans, the Crips and the Bloods or Pyrus. The leader of the Santana Block Crips is 24, a drug peddler. He's been a gang member since he was 14. Kenneth Johnson, known as Turtle.
And this was like 88?
That's the
Let me
roller
give you the
skating?
backstory.
The
That's
roller
the-
skating shit.
Yeah, it's a roller
He
skate.
was in that. Yeah.
I was in there. So
Mhm.
1984, right?
Mm-hmm.
Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coliseum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the media, once again, the media went out on a limb and said, hey, we're holding these Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, but Los Angeles have a huge gang problem.
Mm-hmm.
Are our Olympians safe? Now, okay, whoa, what's going on? Are they really safe?
Yeah.
So the BDC said, okay, let's go find out if they're safe. So when they get here, they contact OSS, Operation Safe Street.
Mm-hmm.
Guy named Gary. She used to call him Goofy because he looked
Mhm.
like Goofy off a Disneyland
Mhm.
character or something. But anyway, this is a question. You go look at the documentary yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go look at it for you. They asked him specifically, what gang did he felt like posed the biggest threat?
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, he said the Santana Block. He said they was the most ruthless, most dangerous, and all this stuff.
Mhm.
Whatever he said,
Mhm.
right? Maybe I'm ad-libbing a little bit, but go look at it. You'll see exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, fine. This guy named John or whatever his name was from BBC. So sure enough, they pulls up. This guy from Britain,
Mm-hmm.
he don't have no clue where he's doing, but he gets out the car when he tells them, and he walks in, hello, mate.
Yeah.
You can look up at him, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Who is this?
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
By the way, I'm John. Pleased to meet you. I'm looking for Turtle. Who is
Yeah.
Turtle? So Turtle's sitting right here. I'm
Yeah.
sitting right here. The other twins and
Yeah.
Rab and Mondo and Rat, Bus.
Was Pistol Pete with y'all too?
Pete was
Yeah.
there. So, Gertchie, Montana.
Yeah.
So enormous amount of people, right? So Turtle look at him like, hey, well, I'm Turtle.
He sounds just like
Yeah,
that. Why Turtle sound country like that?
Because he was from the country.
Okay.
He was from
Alright.
Texas.
Okay.
Louisiana, Texas, to California.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So the guy said, yeah, I want to know Turtle. I want to know about you. I want to meet this culture. I want to, this
Yeah.
is how this guy talking. So I would say, well, we don't do nothing for free. It's Turtle.
Yeah, you sound
being
just
true
like him,
to
bro.
himself,
You sound just
you
like him.
know.
Yeah.
And the guys looked at him and said, oh, no, we're gonna take care of you, Turtle.
Yeah.
No. Them is just words.
Yeah.
So everything gets worked out,
Yeah.
right? And so now we put the guy in the cars, me, Turtle, and my homie Raw Dog. We in the Rag 66.
Yeah, the drop top. Yeah,
Yeah, the drop top. We
Yep.
in there riding.
Mm-hmm.
We take him to the skating ring, the
Yeah.
skate depot.
Yeah.
And the guy is fascinated by all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
We take him to Florence and Maine, the street racing. He's seeing all this stuff, right? So we take him back to the house, man. We show him every gun we had. We so young. We fools.
I seen the video. You in there? Y'all got the tray 8. Because the nigga Turtle was like, I can take out all Lula's Park with this.
You better watch out.
It's an M1 carbine, 32 rounds. I can go tear up Lewis Park with this. I can kill about 32 people if I hit them all.
Yes, indeed.
This is the same thing. I owns 2 of these.
Yeah. And he had the shotgun.
Yeah.
He showed him the M1 carbine. I passed him some old little pistol, whatever. But anyway, so this is how crazy this was,
Yeah.
man. Years later, I'm looking at it now like, damn, man.
Y'all was
why-
on some social media shit, y'all. Y'all was just like the niggas today.
Yeah.
It's the first
So-
social media.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's asking us all this stuff. So finally, he say, so Territory, what do you think about the Olympics? What do you guys? What impact you might have on the Olympics? Look at him, Olympics. Man, we don't care about no Olympics. We care about this dope getting sold out. The hell with the Olympics.
Yeah.
We don't care about Carl Lewis, Michael Johnson, or none of them people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We don't have nothing.
What
Go
kind
ahead.
of what kind of person was Turtle, bro? 'Cause-
Turtle was a really, really, just a really, really good person. Fortune 500 thinker.
Mhm.
Built the economy in there. Built the economies in other neighborhoods and surrounding neighborhoods.
Mhm.
Bridged those gaps. Reached out to Randy McQuiller was a power rule. Anthony Axon a power rule. Stutterbox power rule.
Mhm.
Built relationships with them. They getting money. We getting money.
Mhm.
So now, all the money guys are in cahoots together.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
the guys that's down the lower ladder.
They still on the bullshit. Yeah.
Because now you got all this money. You thinking about you making
Mhm.
30,000 in one day in a house.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, then you making 30, 40,000 the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
In these spots, and you got multiple spots.
Hell
right?
yeah. Your priorities start to shift a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you start seeing things in terms
Yeah,
of
a little
right.
bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Now-
it true? Is it true that he used to have Pistol Pete? Because that was y'all Hispanic homeboy.
Uh-huh.
Is it true that he used to take him to cop because he spoke Spanish, so he can
Well,
understand what the Mexicans are saying?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But other homies have used because we got multiple homies that speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
What?
So you can lay them in the cut, man, and
Yeah.
nobody knows that
Yeah.
we know everything they just said, whether they think we know or not. We know.
Yeah. Yeah. How? I mean, because I've gotten to know you. How when you were? Did you get put on Santana? Like you actually had to
I
get
grew
quoted
up-
in, or you
I
just?
grew up with Robert Thomas, Tookie, Gary Miller, the governor, Snake, Chili Pimp. That's a cold name right there, right?
Yeah.
Chili
Yeah.
Pimp. Chili Pimp, Big Roy Scott, JD, Darnell, Glenn, and another host of others, Tommy. But anyway, so when they was putting it together, I was there.
Mhm.
So I saw all them run through the line and
Yeah.
go through their stuff. So me and the younger homies, we did our own little thing, you know what I mean?
okay.
So that's how me, Tiger, McClure, the Midnights, the Bruces, Wayne Hollyfield, Killer Raider, we had our own Boo Boo, Yogi. So we had our own thing.
Would you consider your gangbang career to be more that you were more of a hustler and less of a gangbanger, or?
I was more of intelligence. I was more on looking at how can we improve it, how can we make it better, because I was an individual that Turtle would talk to, or and my homie Mondo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, because if you go look at the Reggie White interview,
Yeah.
did
I'ma
you see what
bring
he
up,
said?
No, but I was gonna bring up Reggie
Okay,
Wright
go
Sr.
ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. That was gonna be my next question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So talk about Reggie Wright Sr. and was Blondie around at that time?
All of them was around.
Yeah. So Reggie Wright Sr., what was his, because he said that you were the smart one. He said that you was never kind of like the loose cannon one. You know what I mean? How was his policing back then? What was his impact on the community?
His policing was fair.
Mm-hmm.
If there's is a fair. So my theory on police, right, is that they say all cops are not bad, right? There's some good cops. But till the good cops become anti-bad cop, then all cops are the same to me. To me. There's no good and bad. You can't have good and bad in the same thing and be talking about all the apples are good. Nah, I see some bad ones too. So, but anyway, Reggie was fair. And I think Reggie just more or less knew he set himself up to where he could talk to individuals first.
Right. Community policing. Yeah.
Community policing.
Right.
So he talked to some of the toughest and baddest dudes in the city of Compton.
Yeah.
And he built a rapport.
Yeah.
See, because building rapport
exactly. That's
gives you
everything.
that commonality.
Yeah, for sure.
And once you get the commonality, you mirror and match.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, so excuse me, we had Mob James on the show too.
That's my guy.
Who's a homeboy too. That I consider Mob OG. Being that he was from the other side, was Mob James a prize back in the day?
Oh, heck yeah. His name was always out there, you know. It's just that when this money thing got to circulate so far, so a lot of people that was really about that life kind of, then the younger homies took up that. So, so it might have skipped over him. But Mob will tell you himself, man, when they came and bust on us, boy, they can make it back good. Yeah. He was on them,
That's a beautiful thing, though, that a lot of the homies that was probably from different sides, a lot of the double OGs, triple OGs, that everybody that made it, that's still living,
right,
have been able to, like, man, what's up? We was crazy back then. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, that's me and James had that conversation.
Where if y'all would have met each other 30 years ago, it was up. Right. You know what I mean? It was going to go there. Right. How did the streets change? How did they get more vicious when the crack came? So did you see a difference when the money came and the crack came? Did it get more intense?
the money allowed you more access, and it gave you to go in different places that you weren't going before. We was going into Reseda to the skate. Now before we was just going to Skate Depot. Now we in Reseda, we in Hollywood, we in everywhere. And because we want everybody to see us and feel us at the same time. I remember one time we pulled up in Reseda, man, we about 50 deep. The whole skating ring froze. We wanted to give them the Tookie effect, because Tookie used to come in the forum and he used to call it breaking out and pull off his and walk around in the whole forum. The performers on the stage, everybody just stopped. And look at Tookie and see, was he gonna be okay to continue to whatever they was doing? That's just how funny that was when I think about it. Him and Jamil.
Did Tookie keep a bottle of baby oil with him? Because I swear every picture that I seen him, every picture that I see him, he's glistening.
Yeah, he had to.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised he kept a little show dog.
You know what I mean? Every picture, no matter where he at, I'm like, damn, why is
his favorite attire was the bib overalls, one strap on, one strap, the big comeback boots, no shirt, walking around and let everybody, hey, I'm king of the world, I'm Tookie. So he had the intimidation factor going well. He projected that really well.
Yeah. So when the crack era hits, I'm assuming it probably hits your family as well. And you start making money. Let me ask you, just on some hood shit, at your height, because I know you was a good hustler. What you think you was making back then?
You know what? I never even thought about that, but I wouldn't even put a number on it, because there was so much money wasted, so much money that came in and out, and so much money that you didn't even realize, how to use it, how to invest it, the value of it, and then you also thought it was gonna never stop.
Exactly.
And that was the problem.
Yeah. Did you go OT with your shit?
No, I didn't never have to go OT. Let me say this. I made myself very valuable to a lot of different people because I knew how to make it more.
Okay. Your cook game was good.
Yes.
The cook game, yeah.
Turtle, Mondo, Pat, Cedric McGill,
Mhm.
guy I can't pluck.
Mhm.
Just a numerous of guys, and I don't want to say all their names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah, back then, let me take a guess. This was way before my time, but what? Maybe 10, 12, 5 back then?
first one I ever saw, the first numbers I saw, 52
52.
for one.
Really?
That's when it was $100 a gram.
Oh, shit.
$300 for 3 grams.
Damn.
$700 for 7 grams. But it was taking a 1 to a 1.5, depending on who you got it from.
Right. Wow. 50 shit. Okay. Damn.
So that all that other stuff didn't come around until after. And then you got to understand this. We never called it crack. The media called it that.
Right. But y'all was getting it soft and cooking. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Who introduced y'all or LA to the cooking?
I know who introduced me,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a photographic memory. Was I saw it one time.
Yeah.
Can't get that by the same
Yeah.
thing with the water game.
Right.
I saw people do
Exactly.
that. I knew how to,
Exactly.
you know. But anyway, I never tried it, but I
Yeah.
knew what the steps were.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
Said so I heard. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Shout out to Yuck
Yuck
Mouth.
Mouth.
So were you in the game the same time that Freeway and like Tootie Reese and all them
them
was doing their
people,
thing?
all these people was in the game at the same time, and so you can imagine if they was having millions over there, they having millions over here, millions over there, millions in Long Beach, Carson, L.A., Gardenia. That was a lot of money,
It
bro.
was, bro. Yeah,
That was a lot of money,
and that's a lot of destruction.
But
too.
see that,
Yeah.
and this is I compare it. And I'm gonna make this distinction right now because this is a perfect segue. The internet, right, and YouTube, right, remind me of the crack game, of the cocaine game. You know why? Because there was dudes that had dope that was better than if my dope better than all three of y'all. Instead of all three of you guys getting together saying, "Hey man, where you get your stuff?" Y'all get mad at me and start hating on me.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I see happening on the
for sure.
internet.
For sure.
Instead of coming to me and say, you know, Big Court, I see you doing some amazing things on it, brother. I appreciate you can give me a point or give me, you know, drop a couple of gems to where I
Real
can get
shit.
up, you know.
Real shit.
But no, man.
Yeah.
Big Court, I don't like that Negro, man. That Negro over there, you know.
Yeah.
That same mentality,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. No, that's real. So you had a good run in the game, but at some point you get jammed up.
I got jammed. I didn't get jammed up until 2001.
What was the situation? Now, me and you talked about it, but I'm saying for the listeners, what was the situation of you getting jammed up?
My homie Gangster, shout out to Baby Gangster. He met this guy, I think his name was Taylor. Taylor Maine, another guy name was, I'm not going to say his name because he's from Compton and he'll probably have problems. Well, they know who he is, but anyway. She set G up, did a control buy with the feds watching. So G sold him one. And once he sold him one, and the feds was able to take that back to the judge, Stephen B. Wilson, to show these guys is doing this and explain it to him. This is why we need this wiretap and so on and so forth. So the wiretap affidavit was given. So once they did that, they started following us around. So I'm coming off the 210 one day, merging to the 605. And when I hit if you know anything about that, they come together like, right? So when I look to the right, there's this lady, this white lady and this white man. And they kind of like simultaneous right there with me. And I looked at them, they looked at me. And something in whatever transferred right there, I said, damn, that was some weird stuff right there. Something going on with them. So that was the first time. The second time, I had me some high-powered binoculars. And I'm looking out the binoculars. And I'm looking down the street. And right when I get adjusted, I see somebody duck.
Damn.
Because he had binoculars.
Okay.
He realized that I'm looking at him and he looking at me.
You. Yeah.
and we both ducked at the same time. I don't know why I'm ducking.
Yeah, right.
Damn, what was that?
Yeah.
So that's when I said, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy we used to have clean up the yard, he came, he said, hey, Mel. I said, what's up, Joe? He said, hey, man, look, man, I ain't going to be coming around here no more. I said, why? What's going on, Joe? We need you to take care of the dogs and clean up the yard.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, he said, look up there on that pole right there. I said, look. I said, what's up there, Joe? He said, it's a camera. I said, get out of here, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
He said, oh, no, it's a camera up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had remembered that it was a guy from the cable company working on the pole.
Mm-hmm.
And I even spoke. I said, hey, man, don't be up there cutting nobody cable off. He said, no, I'm cutting cable on.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. And Joe said, that was the guy. He put the camera up there.
Damn.
And it was directed towards the property on Tucker.
Mm-hmm. Was that your house or one of your spots?
That was Gangster's house.
Okay.
Yeah. That was where we, kept all the lowriders and all the cars and all the stuff.
So that wasn't a stash spot or nothing
No.
like that? Okay.
But it was a house that we operated out of.
Okay.
We did multiple things out of that house.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
So when they eventually got you, I mean, what happened?
He come up missing the day before, Gangster. So Mama Helen, which is Gangster, she come around and said, Melly, you seen Freddie? I said, nah, but you know him, he'll show up at some point. She said, nah, but he ain't answered his phone. He usually, I said, yeah, that is kind of strange. So I don't think nothing of it. So I think, he probably, at the strip club or whatever. So I leave, go home. When I go home, right across the street from where I lived, there was a sheriff car that sat there all night.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was strange.
Mm-hmm.
So that morning which I don't think they was prepared for me, I got up.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in the paperwork that they gave us, the affidavit and the indictment, it said that they had to be careful with me because I was always doing counter surveillance, which I was. I was always looking for who watching me.
Yeah.
And I got up like 3 o'clock in the morning and came out. And when I came out my driveway, right where this car was sitting, I couldn't see in it.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm thinking like, man, ain't no car supposed to be sitting right there. Who is that right there?
Mm-hmm.
So showing up, I took off, hit the first corner, and the car started up and lights come on. They let me drive about a mile, and they followed and pulled me over, and they introduced themselves. It was real manageable, mannerable.
Yeah, was it the feds?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. So they got you with what? You get slapped with what? Conspiracy?
I got conspiracy. I got, I always like to say they got me, because I ran a pharmaceutical, I just didn't have a license.
Okay.
That's what they got me for. Yeah.
So they never got anything from you, a grain of salt. It was just.
No. So what they got from me, what they did have on me, there was a guy, his name was, and I'm going to say his name, Marcus Collins.
Mm-hmm.
And he owned a car lot across the street from the gas company on Long Beach Boulevard. And he actually came and did a controlled buy with me because of my uncle, my kids, my ex's uncle and my kids' uncle. So I knew him. So he came with him, and that's how he got to me.
Wow. So he was bad.
Yes.
Damn.
He wore a wire and a camera.
Oh, shit. How much was the control buy?
For $9.
Damn.
But what I did, I felt some type of way, and I shortened him.
Don't matter. What you shorted him what? A couple grams? Like
no. I shorted him 3 ounces.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
when
it was still hard though, right?
Yes. When he took it, and he never called back.
Yeah. You was like,
because I really still was testing, But lucky I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Had I did the 9, I would have wound up with a 10 to life, 20 to life versus 10 to life. So I fell in right at the guidelines on because it wound up being, I forget how many grams, but anyway, it wound up putting me in a category. What was it? I can't remember the category. 30.
Okay.
Category 30. And then on the guidelines, it put me in 6 or 4 or 5, 6.
Yeah.
Which gave me 151 months.
Okay.
So the 150.
Which is what?
12 years.
12 years. Okay. And that's Fed time.
Yes.
So you had to do 85% of that.
Yes. But what
Okay.
happened during this time, I think it was FinFin and a couple of other laws that went through that was challenging the disparity between the racial.
Yeah, for sure.
And Obama did that thing. So, I was able to get back in court and lower it down. I actually did almost 10, 9, something.
Yeah.
And I came home.
Okay. Was that your first time having to really do hard time?
Yeah. I mean, because all the other times was like county lid or, and then I had 18 months one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
when you knew you
or
had
a
to
year
do-
violation.
when you knew you had to do this stretch for this decade, damn near, what was going through your mind, bro? Like when you knew you had to do that?
Man, I was devastated, bro. I had a job, I had kids, because I ain't never just wanted to be out there like just sitting all day, like just having all this money and looking kind of crazy.
Right.
Because you got to be able to justify something.
Yeah.
You know, at least get up in the morning and pretend like you're going to work or something.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, so yeah.
So where'd you do your time at?
Terminal Island the whole time.
Damn.
So I went to the beach every day.
Yeah. Oh,
know?
shit.
So there was at Terminal Island, you had mostly guys that were there for fraud, bank robbery, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they used to do these little tours, right? And they come by on the boats and they say, this is federal prison, Terminal Island. Most of the inmates in there for tax evasion, fraud, and so on and so forth. But the inmates are allowed to participate in all sports except for pole vaulting and swimming.
Damn.
And all the guys just get mad. F you, dude. Get away from me with that. You know? Yeah.
So what made them send you there and not some, some gladiator fucking
because I
facility?
wasn't a hard person.
Okay.
You know? I'll be the first to say I'm always figuring out a way how I'm gonna be the clerk. You know, I'm gonna have an easy plus job. I'm gonna be
so
all
how,
that.
how did you do your time?
Easy. I was I was a clerk in Unicor. I did the religion thing, to keep me occupied. I did the yoga thing. I took Kundalini yoga, and
they got yoga in prison.
Oh man, the boy used to
So
do
hold
yoga
on. So
with us.
these niggas in there,
Yeah,
they committed these crimes. They in there
Downward
stretching and
dog.
shit.
Yeah.
Downward dog. And
all that, man. Come on.
so
now.
how is your downward dog?
Man, it ain't so good these days, but I'm in there doing yoga.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's good.
Yeah.
So my mind and my heart was open to newer things.
Yeah.
Because I can't come out of here the same person.
So what? Yeah. So where did your enlightenment come in? Like where did you?
The enlightenment was there was just an enormous amount of rich guys. I was there with the guy named Philip Zangi. He owned Indian Motorcycle. Philip say, Melly Mel, Italian guy, where you want to go today? I say, man, take me to Germany. Beaches, we'll go to beaches today in Germany. And he started talking Germany, and he'll take me around the world in the stories and stuff, We used to call him out. He walking around with his alligator shoes on and all this stuff, you know, man. But really good guy. Then you had Mr. Picarello. He was the real guy from the casino mob thing, the movie Casino, the real one.
Okay.
So, and then you had
he's still locked up?
No, he's out. He probably passed away by now.
But he was locked up still then from the 70s?
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you had a couple of Gambinos there. And, a couple of Italian. Weird, funny thing, man. I seen this dude disrespected one of them died. Them old men, it was about 9 of them, came together like they were still, know. And they would, man, the whole compound had stopped and paused to see where these old men were going. Once they found out what happened, they took care of the business. Man, we can't let these old guys go up in there. This dude don't disrespect this old gangster.
Yeah.
But they still have to.
They was about to run it.
No, they still have the mentality. They wasn't letting go.
Yeah.
When it came to their respect, they wanted it.
So when you finally get parole, bro, and you come home, what was the first thing that you did?
The first thing I did was I got out and wife picked me up, took me to, we had to go to, she needed some gas in the car.
Real quick, your wife stayed down with you the whole
No,
Right.
that's the second wife. The first wife
Okay.
took some money and sister was, boom, she was gone.
Okay. So you got married while you was locked up.
Well, I was married before,
Okay.
and then when I got out, I got married.
I got you. I follow.
So
Okay.
I just go, it's
Okay.
my wife.
Okay.
But anyway, so she picked me up and she said, put some gas in the car. So I get out. So I'm standing there because mine has been almost 10 years, right? And she said, what's wrong? I said, I don't know what to do.
Damn.
I had forgot.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because
Yeah.
that show you how technology
Yeah,
moves.
it's changed. Yeah.
You know, I was just pick the thing up and
Yeah.
it wasn't that no more.
Damn.
Because she handed me a card and you had to put the card in.
Yeah. You didn't know none of that shit. You was used to let me go in,
Yeah,
give me 10
yeah.
on. Woo.
Right.
Yeah. Damn.
So things had changed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she gave me a phone. It was a BlackBerry.
Mm.
I never had a
Oh,
BlackBerry.
that fucks you because when
So
you
I
went
left-
in, it was
it was
flip
chirp,
phones. Yeah,
chirp.
chirp.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was chirping. So
Yeah.
now I got a BlackBerry. I
Yeah.
learned that. And then there was MySpace and
Yeah.
Facebook that just came out. And all this other crap. So yeah, I had to, educate myself and get on, get on par.
Yeah. So when did you take the plunge to start getting into creating content? And like I say, I commend you because it's like you are a historian, you know what I mean? Well versed in so many things, but primarily Compton, hood history, you know. So was that the motivation for you to get into creating content to be able to tell?
The motivation was one of Kev Mack's cousin, shout out to Lawrence Reed, was one of my co-defendants. He was in there with me. So Lawrence would start telling me about Kev Mack. He said, yeah, man, Kev Mack coming out with this magazine. It's going to be called All Hood. He want to know will you do something for the article based on your neighborhood. I said, yeah, sure. So I got my homeboy Little. Shout out to Little Man, Johnny Newman, one of my close homeboys. We got in, we started writing. Little's a very creative writer, and I had all the information, and we got in there and we put it together. We sent it to him, and he published it. Gangster gave his part, of course, and we put it together and sent it to Kev, and he published it. So when I got out, I met Kev Mack, and then he gave me some magazines, and I sold the first magazines, and the second batch, I just gave them to my homeboys. I said, well, I just owe Kev Mack.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted a magazine, wanted to read all these stories about their neighborhood. Because now they reading their history versus what they thought it was. Now they know what it is, So, Kev Mack called me one day. He said, hey, Mel, you think you can get Gangster to do an interview? I said, yeah, sure. He said, I need all of you, Gangster, and both of y'all can come. And anybody else want to, we want to get y'all, because now I'm videoing. So this happened to be about maybe 2015. So that's how they got started. So once Kev Mack came, then he interviewed me. I just liked it the way that felt. You know what I mean? I was just enjoying it. I said, man. So I hung out with Kev Mack, and I tell anybody, before you get into anything, you need to learn what it is that you're doing or how to do it and how to perfect it.
Absolutely.
So I worked with Kev Mack like 2 years. I would pick him up and he would come to town. I'd pick him up, carry him, and I would get these interviews, and we would interview him, and we'd bring S-Mac along, and and it worked out really well.
Yeah, that's where I first came across you, and I was like, damn, this dude know everybody. Is there a motherfucking Compton you don't know?
Probably not.
I was like, damn, this nigga know everybody, and it's like everybody defers to you for the right information, for the truth,
Because I'm about, see, people don't know, man. That such thing is a well-dressed lie.
Yeah.
And people fall for the well-dressed lie. I'm the naked truth. See?
Yeah. How do you go about, because you've been around, but you ain't been a part of every situation.
No.
How are you able to vet a lot of the bullshit? Because people will rewrite history. You know what I mean? So what's your process? What's your process to really getting to the truth?
Really getting to the truth is knowing the individuals that created the truth. I know them. I know if they were, about that life or they just by talking to them, There's certain things I'm gonna hear from them that I'm like, oh man, this dude right here's the truth.
Yeah. Have you ruffled some feathers?
Of course.
Yeah.
We did. Me and Kev Mack did an interview with a guy. He was one of the original U.S. boys from the Us Boys, right?
Yeah.
and we interviewed in Magic Johnson Park off of El Segundo and Avalon, between Avalon and Central.
Mm-hmm.
And unknown to us, he's sitting up there with a pistol
Yeah.
pistol on him.
Okay.
So while we interviewing, the sheriffs happen to drive up. You know how the sheriffs is in the hood. They drive up in the grass and lawn. They don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's the hood. We can do this.
Uh-huh.
And they passing by, and he said, "Hey," and we said, "Hey, oh man, they go to sheriffs." The dude said, "Hey man, what they doing, man?" We like, "What's wrong, man?" "Oh, man, I got a pistol, man." He said, "Man, just be cool, man. Don't get to acting weird, man.
Yeah.
They gonna come over here."
Yeah.
So sure enough, they go on about this business, man. We fell out laughing. This dude had this pistol on, man. He got all nervous and stuff. You know?
So so usually how do you attack correcting people or challenging people's memory of shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you try to do it diplomatically, or do you just straight out just look, my nigga, that you full of shit?
I don't do that on camera.
Okay.
It's not good to do that on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some things, of course, Kev know this.
Mm-hmm.
We just edit it out.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't no good, you just edit it out. You know. And
well, I'm saying when people try to
you talking about for
I'm
my
saying
personal?
when they try to rebuttal you. So if you put some content out and then somebody else puts the content out saying, "Nah, Melly don't know what he talking about. This, that, I did this,
you know
I
what?
did that."
I really ain't got that. You know what I mean? But I had a phone call, right? A guy called me. He said, "Hey Mel, I heard you said this and such." I said, "Oh yeah? Where'd you hear it from?" Such and such. I say, "But tell me, what do you know? What did you hear?"
Yeah.
I say, "Because you telling me what somebody else said.
Yeah.
If you can't tell me what you know and what you heard, then that you don't know why that individual told you that."
Yeah.
And you got to check that. And I never heard back from him.
Oh, okay.
So I guess he wouldn't listen to it for himself. And then he realized that whatever dude told him wasn't accurate.
Yeah, I got you. So what do you think? What are the pros and cons of being a content creator, especially with street shit? You know, do you because you have to exercise a level of integrity and then also caution because you are talking about street shit.
So this is what I do. I tell them, "Listen, man, I'm not in the streets no more. I'm not doing this." I said, I like this journalistic thing, and I'm trying to apply the journalistic techniques to get to the truth. Now, I fall in the lines of stuff that's already been published, something that's already adjudicated,
right?
Things of that nature.
Right.
I'm not looking for you to tell me about where all of the bodies is at.
Right.
I don't need to know that.
Right.
See, because here's the problem in our community. We're the only people that celebrate our killers. Why?
Yep.
The killers don't want to think about all these dudes that came home after doing 30 and 40 years.
Yeah, real shit.
They ain't trying to
They trying to keep them doors shut. They ain't trying to reopen them doors.
They ain't trying to get on nobody's camera, but these dudes want to celebrate them. They don't want to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Let them go live their life. Quit trying to push them up there. They don't want to be up there.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Because even with myself, I mean, some of our content can get into that as well, but do you find it difficult sometimes to so it's content and it's entertainment, but then us coming from the street, we kind of know it's certain shit you probably just shouldn't talk about. And I'm not just talking about killings or shit that, but just certain things ain't for public consumption. Because like with Clubhouse, right? You get on Clubhouse, man, listen.
That's the wildest stuff.
That's police ain't got to do shit.
I'm
right?
glad you mentioned
police ain't got to do shit.
I'm glad I saw Jay Prince Jr. Get on the Clubhouse with Joe Budden. Right, I took clips of it and I used it in one of my reactions.
Right,
and he's having a back and forth with you, but he don't know. Dude, you talking about their life and you talking about this mob ties. The real mob never said they were the mob.
Exactly.
They'll tell you there's no such thing as the mob.
Yeah, exactly.
But you getting on there talking about mob ties.
Yeah.
Dude, Joe Budden is a seasoned dude, bro.
Right.
He said he just there listening. But you keep trying to get him to say something that he don't want to say.
Right.
He don't want to ask you no questions about none of this stuff. But you keep on trying to poke at him.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was just real.
Man,
I didn't know where he was going. I'm like, Jay Prince, get your son.
Yeah. Yeah, he.
And you talking
shout
about
out to the old man. Yeah.
Shout out to Jay Prince, but your sons, They lived in a gated community and went to private school.
Mhm.
They're not about that life.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? And you know, we can go to that. I mean, rest in peace to Takeoff. And that whole situation, bro, is, you know, I've been catching just a little bit of flack because obviously Jay Prince Sr. is a friend of the show. He's been on the show. I consider him a friend, OG.
That don't change nothing. That should you stay friends with him.
Real shit.
Yeah.
Real shit. And so because I've been telling people, you know, for whatever reason, this situation would take off, and I don't want to speculate, you know, and we just, you know, it's all internet rumor of what could have happened and all that bullshit. I don't want to get into that, but, you know, it's like they persecuting Jay Prince Sr. for something that his son could have, you know, allegedly just mishandled or whatever the case may be. And like I like to say, like, I have a grown child, right? She grown as shit. If she go off and do some fuck shit or some, you know, especially if I'm not there, you know what I mean? Like, how does that fall on me? You know what I mean? So I think that it's unfair how they doing.
Bad as you may not want it to fall on you, but it do fall on.
No, it don't. Listen,
I'm talking about
Jeffrey
the
Dahmer,
people,
and Jeffrey Dahmer and goddamn Charles Mason, John Wayne Gacy, all them bitches had parents. All them motherfuckers had parents. You know what I'm saying?
But it's only our people. That's my point. Is that the disparaging and the degradation and all that come from our people, because we're the only people that celebrate our detriment.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I'm a H.
Yes. You're true.
I'm a
You're
ninja.
Right.
I'm a B.
bad
And all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we party. You know.
Like Kevin Gates said, shit, Black Lives Matter to who? You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Black Lives Matter should matter to black people first.
He said on social media, you know who tearing me down? Niggles. You know what's worse than a nigga? What's worse than a nigga? Two niggles.
With his country self.
Shout out to Kevin Gates.
A little softness.
He just wanted to do that.
A little softness there too, though. But coming back to the softness, Kev, there's a little softness there, you know. But I digress, you know. Okay, Kev, shout out to Kevin Gates.
But you right though, bro. I hate to see that too, because think about it. We are the only culture to use social media to tear each other down. We love.
So let's say what they're doing
to
to Jay Prince. They go on Clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
Whack 100, right? I'm gonna say his name. He's on there saying that Jay Prince is a fed and all this, and then he got all these people listening to that, and agreeing with him, and they're not putting anything up that's solid concrete, none of that.
All innuendo, all talk. That's what I'm saying. Social media, and they just recently did something with Eazy saying that too, right? And I don't know, but I just feel like that shit is irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? That shit. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked in the near future if niggas start suing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? For defamation and spreading lies and different things like that.
Let's go all the way back. Hip hop, right? Hip hop used gang culture as its backdrop. Somewhere along the line, we dropped the ball, because now hip hop, instead of gang culture, giving them the dialogue to which they can rap these stories about. Now they want to get involved and be part of the creative side.
Right.
Now the rappers are gangbanging.
Right.
So when you see the Bow Wows, the Soulja Boys, and the Babies and Lil Wayne's, all these dudes saying Suyu and Paru and all this stuff, they're not that.
No, that's real.
It's just marketing for them.
Yeah. Let me ask you,
making money.
Let me ask you, Rachel Renee. I call her Monkey. We call her Monkey. But I raised you on gangster rap. You know what I mean? And I exposed you to a lot of the street shit. I mean, what made you go a different route? You know what I mean? And make different choices.
Well, it's a lot, and you said a lot earlier, but when I was younger, and I don't know if you remember, but even if it was selling drugs or anything that was going on, you specifically, and my mama too, like, you intellectualized what was going on for me. And even as a kid, I understood that it was a means to an end. And, you know, you would even talk about like, okay, you know, this is, especially once we moved to California, like, I'm doing this, or I've made certain decisions to put us in a better position so you don't have to do it. And you can use me as a foundation to go off of. And, you know, going back to what we were talking about as far as like us standing on each other. I think it just as a woman, and this is just me observing, like with gangster culture and gangster rap, like even when I was young, I knew it was entertainment. You know, my dad, because I was in the studio with him. Like he would be writing his raps. He'd be like, "What you think of this?" And you know, he like, "What you think of this beat? Or does that sound right?" But you always let me know that it was entertainment. You know, and that was my insight to it. But I still understand from a marketing perspective and on a subconscious level that music, media, it is a huge influence. You know, it controls the subconscious mind on a grand scheme because that's what it's made to do. And you would always tell me,
It's
like,
hedonism.
Exactly.
Drunkenness.
Exactly.
You become drunk by
That's
it.
why the club has a certain atmosphere. That's why, you know, certain music, it emits a certain feeling in you. Because even like when I'm working on something or if I'm working on my business, like, yeah, I'll turn on 90s rap because it make me feel a certain way. I'm like, yeah, man, I can get out here, do whatever, you know, but I understand the effects that it still possibly could have had, but you just made it more so of a business to me. But, you know, everybody doesn't have a father. Everybody doesn't have that example. And I feel like now, just, you know, as a woman observing the culture, I feel like, you know, when we came out of slavery, it was such a focus on education and elevating out of that, you know, and I feel like it was so grotesque, just the conditions. Like you had lynchings, you had the Fugitive Slave Act, you still had a lot going on to where Black people maybe had to band together a little bit more. So then now once you have crackhead, you got gangster rap, I feel like that was the Black man's way of asserting his masculinity, because that's what you saw. The dope boys, the gangsters, those were the people that had the power, had the influence, you know, but it was just, you would always tell me like, baby, it's a war outside. And the war wasn't just physical, it's mental as well. It's more mental than anything. And I was able to understand that. And then remember, because when we moved to Brentwood, like we literally went from the east side of Kansas City to Brentwood, California, and it was a culture shock.
It was.
I didn't understand. Like I almost got in trouble. I got us in trouble because I went to school and I was talking about, like we shoot guns and, you know, I got an AR-15 and isn't this and that, because it was normal in Kansas City. But, you know, that's when I really realized, I said, wait, like, there is a high level of dysfunction. And then even now as a grown adult, you know, when I listen and I love gangster rap. The most base nature of gangster rap. I love it, but I can understand now. I can look at it with a clear view and say, okay, you know, I know when to pull it back. I know when this is kind of disturbing my spirit. I know when this is invoking a certain feeling in me, you know?
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You saw Court during his early days, right?
Yes.
But you also saw was him grow.
Yes.
Did you stop growing?
No.
So you kept growing with him?
Yes.
So you evolved to where he's at today.
We literally grew up together.
So now you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
It's because the plan started here, that wasn't the final cut.
Yes.
We're now you into another cut because the cut changed.
Yes.
Period of time.
But he had to believe it. And that's what I think.
So that's what
problem.
he gave you, because now that you saw him, because he's a map. You follow that map, you know what it's gonna be at the end of it. It's gonna be a pot of gold. So that's the problem. We don't share the map.
Right.
I'm talking about everybody don't get to view a map.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
She got to see a map right there.
Right.
You was a living map.
Yeah.
And you took her all through all that stuff, and then she's where she's at.
I think
today.
as important as that too, she saw a lot of my failures too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's part of the map.
Yeah, and could learn from that. And it's so funny when I think back on some of the shit, bro. Like, do you remember when you know, when we were in Woodland Hills and I had picked y'all up, and remember when we saw the police? That's how you know you didn't season your child. She could tell the story.
Oh my God, yes. So we came home one day, regular day. We in Woodland Hills in the San Fernando Valley, for those that don't know LA. And you know, it's a regular day, but I noticed as soon as we go up through the hills, I just see all of these cars, like you said, and I noticed the tent was abnormally dark, especially for LA. I'm like, hold on, my dad get pulled over all the time for a mirror tent. Like, can't dark tents just be up here? So when I saw a couple and I saw one like guy just kind of walking casually, but I could see he had a gun on his hip, and I said, Daddy, go, 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 go. I said, that's the police. Go, go, go. I said, drive past the house.
She's seen it before me,
I said,
right? She spooked me. So then I look like, and so I straighten up. We drive right by my house. We drive right by my house.
Lined
like,
up, going to the neighbors though.
They was going to the neighbor's house. My
We
neighbor was
camped
on some
out.
But
bullshit.
black people,
Yeah.
black, you doing what black people do
but
when they
no,
see.
but no. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, she
Okay.
knew the shit I was into.
Yes.
You know,
She was reacting to
she
that.
reacted
Got
to
you.
the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, she thought they was there for me. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what I mean?
got you.
And
got you.
she pulled my coattail like, Dad, keep driving. I seen it like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then we went over to some other hills and we was watching the house like, what they doing? You know, but the beauty in that though is like you said, the map and the growth. You know what I mean? I had her at 16, so we kind of grew up together. I evolved.
You
she
did grow up
evolved.
together.
Yeah, we
That
did.
ain't
No, we
kind
did.
of-
We did. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, that's why I try to tell the youngsters, you know what I mean? Like you can make different
That's
choices.
gangster row right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, man, listen, I ain't even telling a lot of shit. Like, you know what I mean? She did. If I had to do some shit, like, you know, my wife, her mom, you know, she's a professional. You know, she's
corporate lady.
she's corporate. She's getting a master's degree and shit. I done had to do some shit for the family. You know what I mean?
So mom
And-
go get hysterical.
No. Mom
well-
is gonna stay home
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna take my oldest because I
Okay.
raised her like my oldest son.
Uh-huh.
So if we didn't have to hop in the car, you know what I'm saying? And I done had her driving.
Dip off.
Yeah, and
That's
dip
cool.
off. You know
That's
what
why
I
when
mean?
you said you're gonna be
So-
the driver, I was like, ah.
So it's
you know.
and I'm not celebrating it. What I'm highlighting is the fact of the evolution of that. You know what I'm saying? I come from a
Absolutely.
level of bullshit. I exposed her to a level of bullshit. Yet she graduated, you know, college. You know what I mean? She's got her own businesses she's starting. You know what I mean? She's done well for her. She ain't got no kids. You know what I mean? She ain't on the strip pole. She ain't on the stripper pole or nothing like
Well,
that.
let me say
so,
this.
I'm over here watching what he say. Like we're gonna clip this.
The mouth should have three gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Is it true? Is
Uh-huh.
it kind? And is it necessary?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Expand on that.
The truth is, again, coming back to my naked truth, because the truth can be a well-dressed lie.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be sharp enough to get to the naked truth.
Mm-hmm.
Kindness is universal.
Mm-hmm.
It's universal.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth
Mm-hmm.
is capable of saying some outrageous things.
Real shit.
Some outrageous things.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to remain in a positive spirit because
Right.
the universe responds to positivity.
For sure.
Amen.
We all know that. Let me put it this way. You don't know the God until you meet the devil.
Mhm.
Right.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you'll meet the devil first, and then you will start calling on God.
Right.
You're already in trouble. You
Right.
should have been doing that before then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Real talk.
So that's why I say I have three
Okay.
gatekeepers.
Yeah. No. Real shit. Real shit.
And yeah.
And you know, the thing that I wanted to segue into as well is, do you think that, you know, now the youngsters call me OG, you being a double OG, you my OG,
Mhm.
but you know, I'm little homies OGs. Do you think we dropped the ball on them?
I think we are empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Empathetic in the fact that we live in these good lives and we
Mhm.
don't necessarily want to deal with this nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
I'm saying
yeah.
just over time. I'm saying even, you know, do you think that, because a lot of them, there's a disconnect between the young homies and the older homies. You know what I'm
Big
saying?
disconnect.
You know, the young homies is like, oh man, you old niggas, y'all don't
Let
know
me
what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
The young, you know, older niggas is like, you little niggas don't
It's
listen.
been so
yo.
many lies perpetuated and propagated in this culture that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we could ever, but this is what I do. Gangbangers started with a group effort. The only way it's going to end is through group effort. Jealousy hiding compliments, envy hiding support, love hides in hate. Just because they're giving it to you don't mean they have it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Always pay attention to the energy because the words can mean anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
That's real.
So
Like they said, body language is
body language,
yeah,
body language.
that speaks volumes.
speaks volumes.
So with all the shit going on, you know, in the culture, of course you got Kanye, you got the violence, you know, just these entertainers, and not just entertainers, you know, there's niggas every day that die in the hood. You know what I mean? What do you think is the solution, if one?
I don't know if we have a solution yet.
That's fair.
I know that we can only keep trying to come
Yeah.
up with one because for us to give up
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I know we can't take something away without having something to give. What do we replace? If we take that away, what do we replace it with?
Right. Right.
So we got to be able to bring something to the table and say, here, because you don't think those guys don't want to earn a living or
Right.
make money or be able to provide them with the necessary tools to know how to do certain things.
Yeah.
They, like, again, back to my point,
Mhm.
information poor, information malnutrition.
Yes.
They don't have it.
Mhm.
They just don't know.
But do you think it's also, just quick question, do you think it's also a level of accountability? Because I will say
Mhm.
with the young heads, like at least with my generation, and obviously I can acknowledge the disconnect, but we do have the internet. We do have media. We
Oh,
have a
yeah,
lot more
definitely,
mediums to
But
pursue.
go back to my other point when I talked about Langston Hughes and
Mhm,
and Baldwin and Zornell Hurston
mhm,
and all these different individuals, Octavia Butler. Those people already laid it out for us.
mhm.
Why we don't go pick up those books and look at see what they did and how they did it and how they understood this social study or this
Mhm.
social media or well, not social media, but social history.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The conflicts and everything they had to do. They had conflict resolution back then.
Right. That's a big part that needs to be highlighted in our culture, bro. Conflict resolution, absolutely. Because it's like we all suffer from a level of cognitive distortion. You know what I mean? Like we all may get some shit in our head, that's not real. Like you said, leading with emotion, and ego. You know what I mean? And to me, I always say ego is just basically the anesthesia that eases the pain of stupidity. You know what I mean?
Our emotions is profitable in this
Mhm.
society
Mm-hmm.
based on
Yes.
if we come off the handle. The police make money, the Department of Corrections make money, the people that run these hospitals, mental, everybody makes money
Yeah.
based off our emotions.
Our pain, our trauma.
Our pain,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
trauma.
Yeah. But shit, we perpetuate it though.
Of
So
course.
when it's kind of one of
I'm not making no excuses for it.
like my daughter said, a level of accountability. I think us as a culture, which I keep preaching, it's no excuses, bro. I think we all have to do our work. You know
We
what I
do.
mean? I say that, listen, this is my child. She witnessed, not all of my bullshit, but some of my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to get older and mature. So now I can make different decisions. I can say, damn, the way I was thinking was bullshit, or I used to be on that same bullshit. See a nigga like, what? I mean, even him.
Hit him with that fist face.
I was a cheerleader for foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see your fist face, Court.
Well, fist face.
Your fist face.
It's the same.
It's same.
You
Don't
can't
change.
You can't read me.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't read me. My
That's a
anger
good thing.
and
Shit.
my whether I'm even killed. So like
Poker.
Lawrence Hilton Jacobs used to say,
You make a good poker player.
That definitely, like the actor Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, he used to always say that. He said, "Man, it's a quiet fire about you." He said, "I don't know whether you're gonna kiss somebody or kill him." You know what I mean? So that's just always been me. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? But I had to do the work, peel back the layers, and I think just as a culture, that's what we got to do. We got to do what we can do for us. We can't keep looking to everybody else and everything else, and you know what I'm saying? We gotta quit killing each other. We got to quit fucking over each other on social media. We have to quit, I like some gangster shit. I was a gangster rapper. I love some gangster shit in terms of listening to it, right?
In the terms of gangster, glad you mentioned that. We went from cowboys, Indians to gangsters,
Right.
to where we at today to these street gangsters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So every era, they celebrated Don Dillinger, Maul Barker, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
Those people got celebrated.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I guess everybody loves
I'm
it.
Sicilian, so I know. I mean,
Yeah. So
they celebrate the gangsters.
Yeah. So
What you think, Monkey? What you think that this, generation, if there's a solution or what y'all need? Well, you kind of an old head now too, but you kind of an old head now.
Excuse
but
me?
but even the niggas younger than you, the generation younger than you, what do you think the solution is?
I think it's a lot going on. I think it starts with, one, everything, and it sucks to say, but it does. It starts with accountability because you have to want it for yourself. Nobody can want it more for you, and then, it's hard too because I'm, my mom, like y'all taught me to be very analytical and be very subjective. And it was funny. I was just telling my friend this. I said, what I do love about my family, like my parents never cared about my feelings. It was always like, no, Don't cut this out either.
That truck just came. That bus.
But no, when I say they never cared about my feelings, it was because like it was just always like my dad would always tell me it's a war outside. Like you got to be able to take self-inventory. You got to be able to. My mom is always saying like you got to be able to self-soothe, and the world isn't going to care about your feelings, and it doesn't. True. So taking that into the world and being able to apply it, that's really what empowered me. So now, rather I win, rather I fail, you know, it doesn't hit my soul. It doesn't make me so insecure. It doesn't make me overly emotional, like you said, to where now I can't think. I'm easily, you know, manipulated. I fall for anything because that foundation was set. But it also too, you know,
nah, I laced you too much to fall for anything.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then my mom, and I would always tell people like, you know, my dad was the street, my mom was the corporate. She would make me read like Black excellence books, you know, books, all these biographies. So I never had that. I would say
it
that
gives you your culture. It gives you the idea of where you should be, and you know.
Shout out to Yomi.
She literally had balance. This was the real conversation in our house. When she would come home, and it would be shit in school, you know, conflict, right? And I'm in my 20s, you know, 30s, maybe early 30s, and her mother would say, 20s. What would she say? What would Jesus do? You know, walk in love, you know, right? Yes. And I would just let her mother do what she do. Oh, okay. And then when it was my turn to talk, I'd be like, look, man, shit, you beat
let
that
nobody
bitch's
punk
ass.
you.
Yeah, you beat that bitch's ass. Then you pray for it, straight up. So you got both of them.
Jesus ain't gonna necessarily get it, man.
These was real conversations.
Yeah, I have
so
a whole other take about Jesus, but but
don't
God is love.
Boy,
we gotta go home.
Oh yeah, we got. Thank you.
As someone who's known you since a little kid, though, and we just had this convo yesterday because I got little kids now, right? This is my big bro. So we was talking about the rich bitch comments, right? And I was saying,
remember that? The rich bitch?
Yes. Oh my God.
So I don't think that it wasn't that he didn't care or your parents didn't care about your feelings, because he just told me yesterday, we was talking about children, and he was saying when you had conflict, and I said, oh man, did you pull up? Because my kid's got a problem right now I was dealing with, and I was like, I'm ready to pull up. And he said, no, that's going to make them weak. They got to deal with their own conflict, which is why I didn't. And I sat there and I was like, oh, you know what? You're right. So he was thinking about you, but he was thinking about how when you got older, how you were going to deal with life. It's just like if you help your
kids with their homework or their science projects, you're not helping them. You're hurting them because you're not letting them figure out how to get through and solve that problem.
And I think it's
I'm just shedding light on what your dad actually say about you when the door is closed.
Because I almost went off on Jesus just now, but I'm gonna save him.
We gotta go home. We gotta go home. And my old lady watches all of this shit. Okay,
because I almost went off on him.
I'm walking a fine line now.
but it's balance. You know, like I always used to say, you know, with your daughters, you want to correct them, or you want her pimp correcting her. Or your sons, you want to correct them, or you want the police correcting them, you know? So I think it's a balance, you know, it's always a balance. You know, I'm
glad you guys got that, figured that out, man. That family value pack right there.
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah.
Awesome.
And you got to think, man, you know how it is. You know, I don't have a reference point of what it was to be a husband or a father. You know what I mean? I grew up single parent with just me and my mom. You know?
Well, I had my parents. I definitely used what they did.
And I had love. I was raised by strong women. You know what I mean? And you know, my grandfather, he was a.
What do you mean strong? What do you mean by that?
I was being raised by strong women. Yeah. I was raised by my mom, my grandmother, my aunts. I
hear black women say that a lot. I'm strong, black, and independent.
Well, I don't mean that. You know what I mean? That shit. No. When I say strong, meaning that my grandmother was educated. She was one of the first black nurses, RNs, to work at KU Medical Center in Kansas City, Kansas.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Gotcha. So my mother, even though, I mean, would you say grandma? I mean, she
wasn't a punk.
Yeah. Meaning that they wasn't docile. I seen my mother, fight niggas and get it for herself and raise her child.
I didn't want it because I saw when they say that, a percentage of women say that, and then when you realize that, wait a minute, lady, why is you saying that? Because
I don't mean that other shit. I don't mean that other shit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They get what they mean. They don't. Talk all that other stuff.
No,
But
I don't
anyway,
mean that where, you know, a nigga ain't gonna talk to me. I ain't gonna be doing this. I ain't cooking. I don't mean that. You know what I mean? I just mean when I say strong,
Got you.
just not letting the world break them.
No, we there
and
now.
and these were my grandmother
I'm just
was
making
single.
sure, Court, because I don't want to have to come all the way from the corner to understand what the heck you saying now.
Yeah, no, I was raised by strong,
Hey, Court, I
educated
want to
women.
give a couple of shout outs, though.
Yeah,
Can
for
I-
sure. Go ahead.
First, I want to give a shout out to Master P for coming to Compton and getting with Cynthia Nunn and doing the things he do in the community.
For sure.
We recognize you, P. Appreciate
sure.
you. Shout out to my homegirl, Rennie Loke, that do the funny stuff. She's really funny and talented. And also the Bam. The Bam hangs out with me. He come on my show from time to time, the Hood Postman. I appreciate you, Bam. Shout out to all those individuals.
All good, all good. So on that note, though, with the shout outs, you know what I mean? So where can the people catch you at, man?
They can find me on the Hood Postman on YouTube. One word, DAPOHOODPOSTMAN. The Hood Postman. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram as the Hood Postman.
And what's your content? Let them know for the
My
people that don't know it.
content is not pigeonholed content. I talk about a array and a variety of things. I talk about hood stuff. I talk about corporate stuff. I talk about religion, which we don't want to talk about religion today. Because I'm gonna let Court.
I'm curious. What is your religion? Just real quick.
I don't have a religion. I'm a
Okay.
free thinker,
Okay. All right.
and I think that well, I ain't gonna get into that because I know y'all gotta go home.
Same.
But that's-
Me,
but
you,
no, but
you and I could connect on that, though.
Yeah, but that's your
Yeah.
thought.
Okay,
That's
so
you.
I think that Christianity is a business. Jesus is a product. The people that follow it are the consumers.
Hold on, real quick. You better quit saying. But go ahead.
Consumers.
You gotta go home. So go ahead.
And the pastors, the bishops, the deacons are the benefactors. And if you can't see that, then you're not really looking at what you got going in
So
front
you're
of you.
what
So
you
I'll
call
say this.
agnostic. So you're agnostic.
So I will say this. It does provide a criteria for what you can judge between what's right and wrong. I just don't necessarily need it because I figured out what's right and wrong.
I'll go back one deeper on you that
Okay.
before government, religion governed people. So
Yes.
it was created for
Yes.
everything you just said.
Yes.
And before that governments
Yes.
existed, they
Exactly.
used that to,
Exactly.
gods and goddesses.
And that's still in play today,
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we are. So, but anyway, yeah, follow me on the Hood Postman. Get with me.
We're gonna have to have you come back. So when you come back next time, I'm gonna have my old lady here.
Yeah, so
So y'all can argue about that shit the whole hour.
We can argue, man.
Oh,
we
you gonna have to bring Rachel. I'm
Yes.
gonna be
We're
off.
gonna do it real. We're gonna do it real intelligently.
Yeah, oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
for
make
sure,
points,
for
and
sure,
she gonna make
for sure.
points.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
when I'm gonna ask her, can we find the artifacts or the hieroglyphics or the books or the destinations where Jesus is buried and anything that show us that he actually existed? I want to see that.
Okay.
I want to see the facts.
Jesus.
Okay.
I mean, the Romans wrote about him, so we know he existed. We
But
know that
there's
he was
no.
crucified.
If you can go back and find King Tutankhamun and all these other people that's buried in the pyramids, we know where they at. We don't know where Jesus at,
yeah,
and they was before Jesus.
yeah. I mean,
So how we can find those individuals?
No.
Go ahead.
How can we find
Go
those
ahead,
individuals but we can't find Jesus?
Rachel Renee, you have something to say. Go ahead.
No.
But anyway,
it's a
I
valid
digress.
Point. It's a valid point.
Well, never mind. All right, we can shut it off because I have answers
All
for that.
good.
I have answers for that.
All good.
So let me get a name drop Court on your thing. And
yeah. Oh yeah, we're
What
gonna do
you-
that. We're gonna
Okay.
do that. But yeah, listen, we're gonna wrap it up, man. I appreciate you, Melly, OG, Melly Mel, the Hood Postman, for
Man, I'm
coming
gonna come
to the
back
show.
again, man.
Absolutely.
This next time don't take so long to call me, brother.
No, we had your schedule. You know what I mean? It's your schedule. So
no, man, somebody else man. You got other people over here. See, you got the hockey thing going on. That's golf, right?
yeah. So man, we appreciate you coming to the show, brother.
Thank you.
So we'll have you on again, real soon, man. That's the
I want to feel like I'm part of the family. Can
You
I
are.
That family member over there sleeping.
Yeah, that's my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter, Courtney. That's what she do.
Okay, I'm
But,
part of the family.
Yeah,
now.
for sure. You
Okay.
already know, bro. So man, we appreciate you for coming, my brother.
Thank you. Man.
Melly Mel, the Hood Postman, producer Ken, my daughter's debut,
Yeah.
Rachel Renee.
She
Hopefully
did
we'll
really
see-
good,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I
let's-
definitely like
yeah,
her.
Yeah.
her commentary.
How she do, Boot? She did
Thank
good.
you.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got
she
a
like
I
thumbs
it.
definitely.
up.
Oh,
We got
she.
a thumbs
Oh,
up.
you awake now? Okay, thanks. Yeah, I really enjoyed her. I think
Mhm.
that what she had to say was important and necessary because in this young world,
Mm-hmm.
We need more people like her.
Absolutely.
She's representing the Zornell Hurstons and the Nikki Giovanni's and Maya Angelou. She's a representation of that. So we need more of that.
I received that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Hey, we out of here. Appreciate y'all.
You know the vibe.
I'm holding court, it's standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? Karma's on the way. What goes around comes around. Karma's on the way. There's nothing you could do now. You gotta pay.